I am the product marketing manager here at Xara. Joining me today is our CEO, Matt Bolton. And today we'll talk about how to create an annual planning for marketing. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. You will get a copy of this presentation. You will also get a few marketing resources as well as the same templates we use to create our marketing plan and how to create growth for the year. And if you have any questions, please pop them below in the chat or in the Q&A section. Please feel free to ask any questions you have during the presentation. We will be tackling them as we go, and hopefully you like it. We hope you like it. So this is a really interesting topic because with Matt, we were actually tackling it not so long ago, and as we're approaching the end of the year and the kickoff of the new year, and we're just wrapping up the planning and want to begin executing, it's a bit of a scary time. And my guess is that most of you here are here because you're either heads of marketing, or you are in knowledge teams, or just want to create something powerful for the year to come. And part of the reason why we're doing this is because I think that this is a topic that lots of people are really anxious about. I was actually chatting with a friend of mine, an old colleague, who's in the customer success team, and we were trying to ask each other how we were approaching this and how we're planning it, and it seems to be a mystery amongst all teams. So I think that the thing is that most companies really struggle with expectations or trying to establish some transparency that they're lacking, and no one typically knows how to fully approach it. And people are just trying to create a plan that they can actually fully operationalize, but really sometimes it ends up being put in a shelf and forgotten about. So what we're talking about today, why we're putting the plan in place, how to get the foundation right, how to actually create clarity across the organization, and how to cut away what you don't need. And we'll find out that that's a lot, and that's a big issue amongst all organizations, because we all want to do everything and anything. That's marketers for you. And lastly, of course, I also wanted to show you how we're putting it together and what we've done with Xara to make sure you can also operationalize it. So why put it in place? I think that the reason why you put it in place is that people in your organization don't fully understand the impact of the work. So it's important to really try to get everyone involved. And I think that if you ask around the organization, I think that even with Xara, I don't know what you say about it, Matt, but there are still people, I don't know whether it's in engineering, that just don't fully know where they're at. And I think that putting this in place has actually really helped us. And the other reason is that we want to break down the silos, right? Be able to co-create and create ownership, give people that accountability that they're looking for. And this actually really skips having to go to a department and showing up and trying to get their buy-in, because when you're really trying to get their buy-in, it's a lot different, right? You're just trying to convince them to actually do something that they might not be involved in or just don't know anything about. Thirdly, I think that it ensures a lot of that everyone has clarity on what you're trying to achieve, right? And it gives your company a lot of flexibility. It gives people adaptability and better resource allocation. I think that if we learned anything from last year and the one before, is that resource allocation and adaptability are really the name of the game. So the first thing that we should be doing is really breaking down the plan, or creating the plan before the plan, right? So basically doing a top-down approach, and this will trickle down from the business all the way to marketing department and connecting the action to goals. So for Xara, we had to answer a couple important questions, and this took a while, by the way. So I suggest you don't actually try to get down on it in one sitting. I think that the first question to really try to answer is, what's our company strategy? Really hone down our mission. What are we trying to achieve? What objectives will help us actually realize that mission or that strategy? And then this will trickle down to product, and that will make you ask questions in terms of what are the needs of our customers? How is the market evolving? How do we want to actually change our product to support the current plans? And that will take us, of course, to marketing, where we'll answer questions as, what's our go-to-market strategy? And for product marketing, brand growth, what are the top 3 priorities? Because as we know, we have too many. And then we'll share it with the whole team in order to get everyone to understand how to organize ourselves. Ultimately, a great plan really gives everyone that clarity about the following questions. What are our goals? What are we trying to achieve? Who are we targeting? I think that's another question where most people go very broad, and really we need to be very specific, trying to understand who we're going after, and of course, what are we selling to them, and what's our overall value proposition, because that's how we create that differentiation. And lastly, I think that's important to put it all together, and this is where most teams fail, really, where people fail to see how projects and tasks actually go in line with the overall product or company goals. So I think that it's really important to actually get that full alignment throughout the customer journey, and understanding what our output metrics are, what our North Star metrics are, and how they're impacted by the smaller projects and tasks and initiatives. So what we do here at Xara is, of course, try to understand who our customers are. There's no way to skip around this little step. I think that everything begins with the customer at the center. And if you look at here, what I have created is a bit of a bullseye as to how we approach it, right? We try to understand how our most strategic customers, where they are, who they are, what they do, and who the incumbent solutions are, as well as, if you move outside the bullseye, you'll see the white background, which basically describes who our opportunistic customers are. And if we continue moving outside, those are the non-focused people. While I was creating this, actually, funnily enough, we basically created this template today, and we just shared it with the team. So I actually wanted to share how I actually created it real quick before we move along. So let me just backtrack a little bit to the actual file and jump straight into it. So one thing that I did, of course, was once I created all the different items, we grouped them and we actually saved them to our assets, so they're always available for the team. I think that one thing that we constantly keep doing in marketing is creating all these reusable assets, right? And I think Matt keeps populating our asset library with a ton of them. So let's say that I get rid of it now. It will be here. Let me bring it along. So of course we have a ton here. Boom. And of course, during our earlier webinar, I was creating more and more and more, and it's a constant. But yeah, I think that this is one of the key features that really help our marketers. And I don't know if Matt, you have any comments about it?
No, I think it's one of the creating an asset library that is common amongst the team is super critical in the way that people present and visualize messaging and data. So everybody's saying the same thing. So when you're talking about alignment in your previous slides and across the company and whatnot, if people are using the same asset or visualization, whatever way to represent a topic is super important. It's one of the great benefits of the Xara solution, but I think it ties into overall business objectives really, really well. Speaking of something, Alfonso, we have a question too regarding your pyramid that you showed, which is another graphic that you created in Xara, which again can be saved into the asset library. But they asked the difference between initiatives and projects and tasks.
Yeah, absolutely. So initiatives are the overarching themes. I would actually describe it as the overarching themes that really support our pillars throughout the customer journey. So for Xara, actually, let me maybe jump. I actually had an answer for that. So funnily enough, I jumped the gun here. You didn't see that one coming. But anyway, yeah, so our initiatives are what will actually become the pillar to the different parts of our customer journey, right? So we have them at the very center, and throughout the journey, we'll have different success metrics that will dictate how, or output metrics that will dictate how we're doing. And these initiatives are the next effort that will push it forward. And within those larger initiatives, we'll have smaller tasks. So I don't know if you are creating a, let me just actually, I even have a slide for that. So let's say that if we have initiatives for our discovery phase, for example, we could look into doing a webinar called, I don't know, States of MarTech, and it's an event, and this will be an initiative that will be supported by smaller tasks, right? Like, I don't know, a blog post or social media processes and subsequent tasks and projects that will fall within it. And they will have, in turn, their own little metrics that will feed off of this final metric, which at the end of the day is the number of attendees and number of site visitors or MQLs that we generate from there.
Yeah, and adding to that, you can even, make it to simplify. For example, let's say a business goal is to, for Xara, increase product usage. And one initiative to do that would be a webinar series. And then tasks and initiatives off of that webinar series would be, okay, let's set a webinar calendar. Let's create the different webinars that we want to do. Let's talk about the distribution of those webinars and all those tasks that kind of come underneath it. So there's more nuances to that, but in general, that's the difference between, our mission, then our goals, our initiatives, and then kind of tasks to support those specific initiatives to execute.
Absolutely, and setting those initiatives in itself is a job. Let's not skip the fact that once you've actually defined your customer journey and the metrics that you're going after, just to give an example here at Xara, we've identified over 15 or 20 different strategic questions, like, I don't know, for example, supporting enterprise teams, and laying in when we present them and we present the different initiatives that support each part of the process, we also lay out the different sets of facts that fall behind them, right? In terms of what the benefits of pursuing such initiative will be, what the effort will be. So how many resources do we need to support this? Is it worth it? So yeah, these are questions that keep arising as you dissect your customer journey little by little and each initiative. So one thing that we also do at Xara is bring the people in, right? So when we're creating, let's say that we're looking at a set of initiatives for the discovery phase, we will bring the people who are responsible and the teams who are collaborating on such initiatives, and get them to comment on the file and estimate what they believe is going to be the outcome of such initiative. And from there, we will work out several 5 to, I don't know, maybe 10 big bets that will run throughout the year, maybe less. And each one will have an objective and a key results, and each key results will be supported by people who will own them, right? So from there, once people come in, so let's say that I will invite a couple of people over for, let's say that I invite Carlos here. Carlos is our PM, and let's tell him to please state and rate different initiatives. And Carlos will come as a commenter here, and he will lay down the law and let us know what his top 3 or top 7 initiatives are, and so we'll continue the process that way with the different people that are actually involved in the process. Going back to it, I think that's what the next step that we've established is, of course, setting the baseline numbers, right? So I think that every company has a very different set of baseline numbers and how they view their own customer journey. At Xara, of course, from the top to the bottom of the funnel, we have different North Star metrics, and this is how we measure them. And what we will proceed to do is fill this out with the different projections that we see for Q1 all the way through Q4 of 2022, and what we expect for everyone, and how each person will define their key results for them. And then the last part of the process will be to actually put it together, right, in a cross-team roadmap that will give everyone a good vision of how this comes together. So as we were talking earlier, for example, one of the big themes could be large enterprise readiness, which for a lot of companies is a topic that entails a lot of resources. And in order to support that, we will, of course, need to run different demand gen campaigns. There will be product launches that will actually support this, and of course from the SEO and brand side, we will continue to run different efforts to continue moving down the line through the months to come, and
one thing to jump in here and add is that this is an evolving document, and so you do your best to plan. But one of the great things that why there's other collaborators on our own document, and one of the benefits of what you saw Alfonso do with the collaboration is to get others involved. And that's not just for providing feedback on the initial plan, but it's also communicating throughout the month, the quarter, as we make changes, as things evolve, and updating this document. So it's a living, and so people get communicated on that when, hey, the marketing plan has changed, or the roadmap, or we adjusted it, something, people that are part of it will get that notification and can push that message down. But it's also this fluidity about content and about this, that you're always adapting and moving along, but in a sense honing in on that better communication, leveraging something like a document editor or the template that you use in Xara.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that actually takes me to another point, that it is. I think these files are not meant to be shared and just downloaded and forgotten about, or looked up on a Slack chat like 6 months down the line when it's already too late. I think that this is something that continues to evolve, and as you do this, you want to actually be able to make it available to everyone. So as I'm saying this, I would like to actually add it to to our team, files, and actually make it available to our whole team, and let them comment or view it as they wish. I think right now this is within my files, and I apologize as my internet is extremely slow. I don't know when I moved to Germany, they told me that my internet was going to be the fastest one, and it is taking ages. So right now, this is within my files, and I would actually like to put it within the team files. And let's say that I want to create a folder that's going to be marketing.
And while Alfonso is doing this for existing customers out there, one of the things that you'll notice that has evolved within the product in the last month or so is the addition of Xara storage, where all documents that you create now will automatically go to your files. And from there, you can move those files to be team files, which anybody in that team will be able to access, along with into your cloud drives if you already have those connected as well. The share editing function that Alfonso showed earlier doesn't matter where the document is saved, it works across them, and those are people where you can segment people off by commenters versus editors. And again, it doesn't matter where that file is saved. So the storage edition is great for workflow. It's really simple to change names, really simple to move files around, but then also to leverage existing content and make a copy and start going again and again. So hopefully you've seen that and look out for it.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to add one more thing. I think this is a beautiful creation, if I may say so myself. And one thing that I like about this, about co-creating with other people, is that I can actually lock these templates or these different components, so no one can actually distort them, or if anyone is actually working on them, let's say that we have someone who's not very tech savvy and they want to work on the file, they can have that peace of mind that they can do so without destroying it or changing something and making it look not so nice for everyone else. so yeah, I think that sort of wraps it up as it relates to our presentation and how we approach marketing and planning for the year 2022. So if anyone has any questions, I would love to tackle them right now.
A question that has come in is, and you might have mentioned it, but is a template like this available in the template library for people to start building out their own kind of marketing plan and working with their team?
Absolutely. So as a matter of fact, this template was created today and by yours truly. And yeah, absolutely. This template is available. Not only will we send this document to all the attendees, but also we will make it available for the public to actually be able to create their own marketing plan. I think that if you create a marketing plan, or if you create plans and operationalize them and you don't share them with anyone else, you're not really doing anyone a favor. So it's for you to take, and we hope that you do put it to good use, and let us know about that as well.
Good. One of the other questions, it's actually was kind of a little bit outside of the scope of this, but it was about lead generation and a different aspect of leveraging Xara in order to see how potentially your content is performing.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Should I delve into it, because I would be more than happy to do so.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So actually, one way to do this, I think that I've seen a lot of people in sales particularly and marketing use this, and that is share to web. So if you do this, let's say that you publish this file and let me just do it in real time. If you share it to web and you use the share link, you can actually embedded wherever it is that you need. So let's say that you put it in an email, or you include it in a different document that you're sharing. You can go to analytics, and you'll be able to see how long people are spending on each page. You'll see how long they've spent overall, who's opened it, who told you that has opened it and actually hasn't. And yeah, of course, this actually is great for those who are looking into understanding how effective their content marketing strategy is, or how effective their sales collateral is, if it's really generating that traction, or if it's time to actually look into a different route.
Yeah, as an example, on the Xara.com website, you'll see an area called Branding Hub. And within the Branding Hub, you'll see the ability to view a, I guess, content sheet or product sheet as related to, or information sheet, let's call it, ebook, related to the article that you just read, to share it to your colleagues or to download it for future use or whatever. And those are all created in Xara Cloud. Those are all shared web documents that we host, right? A lot of times you'll see when you get emails that they'll send you a piece of content and you click on it and it just takes you into like a Google Drive folder that's dumb. So you as a marketer have no idea what's happening, and there are people engaging with that content. So, sometimes people click on download, but they never actually download it. We give Xara's Share to Web gives you the ability to see if they're interacting with it in real time, and then also downloading it as well. So it's a great way to see the effectiveness of your content. So Afonso, another question has come in to around a higher level of marketing plans and templates. Yes. Basically are prone to be affected by circumstances that happen in the ongoing COVID pandemic, or the conversations around inflation and other things, economic ties. So in these type of cases, do you believe that these particular type of plans have to be, are they resilient, or do they have to evolve? Like, how do you handle those type of things when you're dealing with these type of plans? And there's probably no right or wrong answer, but in general,
the way
practices.
Yeah, the way that I see it, I don't think this document should ever be a rigid document, ever. I think that even with normal market circumstances, as the market changes, as your competitors evolve, as you do more discovery into your customer base, your document is bound to change. This is a living, breathing document, and we do hope that as you continue to evolve, your document continues to evolve with your product, or whoever you are as a company, right?
Yeah, and I think COVID, we don't talk about it too much, but in general, it is a reality, and I think that really impacted our marketing plan for 2020, and a little bit in 2021, but really in 2020, where we had some key initiatives that we wanted to achieve, some key themes that we were focused on, and remote, everybody working in a home office, or or working in a cabin where you didn't want to be by anybody, was not part of our equation. But you could, and I'm sure that was probably the case with many companies, but we and others evolved to that and had to adjust very quickly and bring that into the forefront. And our website, and probably many others, their kind of messaging at the beginning was, creation for all, or, built for virtual teams, and things like that, where that was more top of mind of people, and the kind of messaging change. So hopefully that answers the question, but, every quarter, we as a company, even earlier than that, but just in general, every quarter, things like this should be addressed and being looked at to make sure that, you're still in sync with your customers, still in sync with the market, and also, are you taking advantage of current trends that are happening? Because it's a great way to be in people's in front of people's minds.
Any other questions?
When I'm mute again, I think the other thing, just to reiterate, the webinar has been recorded, so it will be shared out after here in the next day, as long as also the template as well. Feel free to, and we hope you do, and encourage you to share it with your team and colleagues to hopefully you found it informative, but also to maybe get started on your marketing plan.
It's never too late.
Never too late. So I think we're good to go. I'm sure we could sit here and answer questions endlessly, but we want to be sensitive to time. And I think we hit our 5:30 limit or on the dot, or I guess where we are 5:30 and others, you're half an hour. But Alfonso, phenomenal. Thanks so much for sharing your insights and putting together a template as well that we can share.
Thank you.
We leave it at that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt, and everyone who joined us today. And just to reiterate, if you have any questions or if you want to reach out to us, you can always find us at xara.com in the chat, or if you want to reach out to us by email, you can find us alfonso@xara.com or matt@xara.com.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Happy
Bye,
holidays.
everyone. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.